Hey guys, and welcome to episode 2 of Witchy Tidbits. I am your hostess, Amethyst Stormoon, and our guest with us this week is Erica Gray. So, guys, we've got an awesome show for you this week. We're going to be talking about divination. That includes methods, herbs, candles, and stones. We'll be talking about natural cold and flu remedies because it is that season after all. We'll have some witchy gardening tips. And is it time to smudge? All this and more, plus music from a group called Amaranth. Stick around, guys.
Much good can come from the prudent use of power. One sole and preeminent power.
Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Witchy Tidbits. I am your hostess, Amethyst Stormoon. With us tonight is Erica Gray. We're going to start off by talking about divination. We're going to cover methods, herbs, candles, and stones. So, Erica, when you think of divination, what comes to mind first?
Seeing into the future.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Well, there's lots of ways to do it, that's for sure. There's reading tea leaves, which I never quite mastered that one myself. There's tarot cards, runes, scrying mirrors and scrying bowls, pendulums, and there's also the infamous Ouija board. Guys, I'm begging you, do not try using a Ouija board. It is a really bad idea.
I second that.
Now, Erica and I are going to share an experience about Ouija boards just to kind of illustrate what can go very, very wrong. I guess I'll go first. Is that okay with you, Erica?
That's okay.
Well, this didn't actually happen to me per se. It actually happened to my mother. This was back a week before she was to graduate 8th grade. This place is also where my niece and one of my nephews goes to school right now. It was a week before her graduation, and the girls of the class had decided they were going to do a lock-in. Now, this was pretty common practice back then. They don't really do it as much now. So all the girls in the class kind of pooled their money together. Everybody brought a drink and a snack. They had the visual aid equipment they could use. They brought movies, the stuff that you would see at a typical party or sleepover. It had started getting really late. They had just finished watching like their third movie, and someone went to her duffel bag and pulled out a Ouija board. Now, we've all heard of Ouija boards. One thing's for sure, guys, they're a really, really bad decision. You can't control what comes through those things. There's no sort of filter whatsoever. You're literally opening a door between the spiritual realm and the living world. So, obviously, in that perspective, you're not going to be able to have a lot of control. So, reason one why not to use. So, getting back to the story, they sat there and they were at first just asking innocent questions. Will I be married by the time I'm 25? How many kids will I have? Just really generic, innocent questions. Well, my mother's best friend at the time decided that she was going to up the ante a little bit and ask something a little more serious. So she took hold of the Ouija board, and the spirit that had come through was waiting patiently for them. She asked, do I know anyone that will die anytime soon? First of all, never ask a Ouija board about anything related to injury or death. It's a recipe for trouble. But unfortunately, they didn't know any better, and this is the question they asked. Well, the lights flickered, still the girls' locker room, which is off to the far left back corner of the gym, right beside the stage. As soon as this question was asked, lights started flickering, and the spirit started to respond, saying yes. Mind you, the spirit that they were speaking to was probably not a good one. Of course, considering what happened, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But the spirit finally answered, said yes. Didn't go into any detail, just said yes. Well, the rest of the night went off without a hitch. Everybody's parents arrived to pick them up in the morning. No big deal. Said their goodbyes, right as rain. 2 days later, my mother's best friend, the one that had asked that question, her father, healthy as a horse as they say, suddenly had a massive heart attack and died. Now, this gentleman had no health issues that anyone was aware of. No heart problem, no blood pressure, nothing. Well, nobody connected the death to the Ouija board at first. They all just thought, it was just something the doctors didn't catch. Well, back then an autopsy wasn't always mandatory, but the family, wanted an autopsy done. He had no health problems. They wanted to know what the heck caused the heart attack. I'd want to know too. So they did the autopsy, and they found that what they thought had been a heart attack, there was nothing physically wrong with this gentleman. I mean, they searched him from the hair on his head to the dust on the bottom of his feet and found nothing. Little creepy, isn't it?
Very creepy.
So, definitely, moral of the story, don't use a Ouija board. Please. Okay, Erica, you have a story too, don't you, sweetie?
I do. My sister was having a sleepover with 3 other friends at her friend's house. I was 14, I think, at the time. And they brought out the Ouija board. It was just fun, just like you said. Nobody took it seriously. They couldn't get it to work. It would just sit there, and my sister calls me and says, come over here, we want to get the Ouija board to work. I thought, okay, it's a bad idea, but okay. So I drove, I must have been 15 because I was driving at the time. I drove over there, and we got the Ouija board to work, and I've never met any good spirit come out of a Ouija board, never.
Neither have I.
They started out by moving the candle that they were using, and to prove that he was actually there.
Yeah.
And then they started asking more serious questions, and I'm going, it's time to stop. I'm like, it's time to stop. You could just tell by the tone of the answers. And finally, I'm like, after this. Because he blew the candle out, he flung the board, he flung the flashette across the room. He was getting violent. It was time to close. And they said, no, it's okay. It's not real. They accused one of the other girls of getting and flinging the stuff around. And I'm going, okay. I'm like, so I left for the night. They all went to sleep. The next night, her girlfriend was sleeping in her room. The Ouija board was in her closet. There's no electric working in the closet area. And the fire started in the closet by the Ouija board.
Oh,
Her
wow.
brother, who slept down the hall, smelled the smoke. She didn't smell it. She was basically dead to the world when she went to sleep. Her brother comes in, had to pick her up to wake her up.
Oh,
Got
wow.
everybody out of the house. By the time they got everybody out of the house, the whole upstairs was inflamed with fire. The whole house burned to the ground. The only thing that in the house did not burn was the Ouija board.
Oh, wow, that's scary. It's good to know everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Well, guys, moral of the story, don't mess with a Ouija board. Seriously, just don't even try it. Well, we've talked about methods, so now let's talk herbs, shall we? Now, these are in no particular order. I'm not going to group them into groups or anything. I'll just, if it's poisonous, I'll tell you. So, we're going to start out with adder's tongue. This is an extremely advanced herb. Alder, which is intermediate, so is beech tree. Benzoin is expert. It's not because it's poisonous, it's just the energy's really difficult to manipulate. We have distort and broom, which are both extremely advanced. We have buckeye or horse chestnut, both the same thing, that are master level. And yes, it is poisonous. Then you have butcher's broom and butterbur, which are both advanced. You have cherry and corn, both of which are beginner level. You have cinquefoil, which is expert. Now, cinquefoil is poisonous, and make sure you wear gloves if you're going to handle it because it can cause some contact dermatitis. So, definitely don't handle it barehanded. For intermediate, we have cypress, dandelion, and elecampane. Now, dandelion, you're going to want to use the root. Our next one is fig. Yes, I'm referring to the fig fruit. It is a beginner level. We have flax, which is extremely advanced. This is the same one where you get flaxseed oil and the flax seeds that they put in the whole grain breads and stuff. Same plant. Next we have goldenrod, which is advanced. Now, just keep in mind, guys, if you have an allergy to ragweed, you will probably be allergic to goldenrod. Other plants in that category are chamomile, aster, St. John's wort. So, if you have an allergy to any of these, you'll probably be allergic to the others too. So, next is hibiscus, which is a beginner herb. Next we have jasmine, which is advanced. We have lettuce, and yep, we're talking about the lettuce in your salad, which is very advanced. Then we have mugwort, is very advanced. It's a wonderful multi-purpose herb. We'll talk more about that, though, later on in our witchy gardening section. Next we have orange, which is a beginner. Palm, like the palm trees that you see in the tropics, is advanced. Pansies are intermediates. Pomegranate is a beginner. St. John's wort is extremely advanced. Again, if you're allergic to ragweed, stay away from it. Next, we have willow. Now, this includes weeping willow, and it's very advanced. Next, we have yarrow, which is a beginner herb. Now, I'm going to pause right here and explain something about yarrow. Yarrow has natural antibacterial properties. It is also a plant that was used quite commonly in World War I and II, as well as the Civil War. It grows very easily, usually wild. The dried leaves turned into a powder will stop bleeding. And so they were used a lot, this plant was. It was cheap. It was easy to use. Most people didn't have any adverse effects to it. It was plentiful. They could just step outside the medical tent and grab some, So, okay, moving on. Bracken, which is advanced. Magnolia, which is intermediate. Mimosa, which is very advanced. Now, this one I'm not sure how it's supposed to be pronounced, so if somebody does know for sure, let me know. It's ylang, or ylang. I'm not sure how the pronunciation is supposed to be, but it's very advanced. Then we have anise as well as clove. These are both beginner. Meadowsweet, which is intermediate. Next, we have orris root, which is advanced. Orris root is something you probably don't want to ingest. It's not necessarily poisonous, but you can have some adverse effects to it. It is a member of the iris family. Next up, we have bay, which is like the bay leaf that you put in your pizza sauce. That's a beginner. Mint is also a beginner herb. Bear in mind, guys, plant it in a container or you will have a garden completely overrun with mint. Same can be said of any member of the mint family, so, be mindful. Next, we have lily of the valley. Now, this is a master level herb. It is highly toxic, okay? Now, the compounds in lily of the valley that make it so toxic actually act on the cardiovascular system. It's technically a heart drug, so be careful when handling. Although they are quite pretty to look at, the flowers. Next we have violet, which is intermediate, and this is those same little purple violet growing in people's yards and in the ditches around Easter time, give or take. By the way, the flowers steeped in boiling water with a little bit of honey added is a fabulous cough syrup. I personally use it myself. Next we have daughter, which is advanced. Ground ivy, which is master. Now guys, not fuse ground ivy with poison ivy. You will have a very, very unpleasant realization if you do. So ground ivy is not the same as poison ivy, just say it. Next we have birch tree, which is very advanced. Then we have meadow rue, not just plain rue, meadow rue. This stuff is poisonous and it can cause some contact dermatitis as well. So again, if you're going to handle it, use gloves. We have rose, intermediate, and this is any kind of rose. Pink, purple, green, or blue with yellow polka dots, whatever. Our last one is an expert and it's called mullein. Now, it's not poison. It's just, it's a little difficult to deal with is all. Now, you've probably seen those really tall, almost, they look like a bear cattail, almost, with these kind of like grayish, green, fuzzy, and they're really tall. The little yellow flowers all over it. It's usually in ditches, disturbed ground, what have you. That's mullein. So, okay, those are your divination herbs. Now, as I've pointed out, a lot of herbs can be used for several different things. So, just because we list an herb in one section doesn't mean it can't be used in another. So bear that in mind. Next up, once I find it, will be our stone. Now stones, guys, can mean anything from a semi-precious stone all the way to just your regular, ordinary rock, okay? This list is actually fairly short, but your divination stones include emerald, hematite, jet, labradorite, lapis lazuli, moonstone, obsidian, onyx, and turquoise. And yes, the Native Americans were very aware of turquoise's ability for divination. It is why it was so popular. Shamans and the wise men of the tribes often wore jewelry made of turquoise, specifically for that reason. Now, obsidian is basically volcanic glass, though I happen to think it's quite pretty. It's also the best protection against psychic vampires. Now, we talked about that last week, so we won't really, get into that too much. But just, as a reminder. Now, divination candles. Honestly, guys, there's lots of different candle layouts, but when it comes to divination, for me, there isn't really one that stands above the others. So, basic triangle would be fine. Your divination colors. We have 3 options here. We have black. We have gold. Now, I'm going to pause to say gold usually is associated with masculinity or the sun god. So, your last option is indigo. Well, we're going to take a short musical break. Stick around with us. Check out our Facebook, our YouTube, our Twitter, and also our Google Plus page. See you when you get back.
Can't you see who I am? I'm invincible. Can't you see
and welcome back to Witchy Tidbits. I am your hostess, Amethyst Storm Moon, and with us today is our guest, Erica Gray.
Welcome back.
So, guys, we've talked about divination. Now we're going to talk cold and flu remedies, okay? We're not talking about going out and getting the Zicam or the Coldies or anything else. We're talking stuff that's a lot cheaper with a lot less side effects. Natural remedies are a wonderful thing. I can tell you guys, I would take a natural remedy over a pill any day of the week. Now, it's cold and flu season. It's inevitable that at some point you're going to end up with a stuffy nose or achy joints or, something. There are lots of symptoms that can be classed in here. So we're just going to kind of list them off as each symptom category. So we're going to start with the most obvious one for colds. 9 times out of 10 is the congestion, be it chest or sinus congestion. For me, it's what I hate the most. I can handle all the other symptoms, but I cannot handle a stuffy nose. Drives me nuts. My first suggestion is eucalyptus. It smells nice. It's also great at removing negative energies, which can help you get over your cold quicker too. And it will open you up so well and so fast. It's a beautiful thing. Another option for your congestion is get you one of those dollar bags of Starlight Mints, peppermints, and take a pan of boiling water, melt those in there, pour this all into a great big bowl, a little bit bigger than your face. Just hang your head over the bowl with a towel over the back of your head and just inhale that steam. You'll be open in no time. Do you have anything else to add for congestion, Erica?
Nope, not for congestion.
Okay, let's head on to headache. Well, headaches are common with congestion too because, the sinuses get all filled with junk and it's just miserable. There's lots of options for headache cures. Sometimes all you need to do is just get your sinuses open and the headache goes away. But if clearing out your sinuses doesn't fix it, there's some great remedies that will. Aromatherapy, I suggest either lavender or rose. They both smell fabulous. They're both great on stress. They help you sleep, but they'll clear up that headache pretty quick. If it's more migraine, you can try feverfew. You have anything for headache, Erica?
No, I'm new to the natural remedies, so.
Alrighty, let's move on to cough, shall we? Now, cough is something I always end up with, and it usually turns into bronchitis. Total pain in the butt. But there's lots of natural remedies for coughs. One is just a teaspoon of honey. Just your plain ordinary honey out of the little plastic bear. Take a spoonful of it, it coats your throat, all good. Another option is actually violets. Now we're talking the little violets that grow in people's ditches and in their yards and such around Easter time. What you do is you just take the flowers and you steep them in boiling water until the flowers have become translucent. Strain all that out, add honey, and if you want to add another seasoning to it, like maybe some vanilla extract or mint or, whatever sounds good to you. And keep that, guys, in the fridge. It'll keep longer. And trust me, when your throat's sore from coughing, that cold syrup is going to feel wonderful. Now, you can also take the syrup and actually make it into a really refreshing summer tea. You just reduce the syrup down and leave out the honey. And then you just mix it with cold water and some sugar or honey to taste, and it's fabulous. Another thing good for cough is a plant called horehound. It is a member of the mint family, so it will spread like wildfire. I kind of learned that one from experience. Lost 3 flower beds to it. Now, this stuff is exceptionally bitter, just to warn you. So, if you can't handle bitter, probably want to steer clear of the horehound. But it's just like the violets, except you use the leaves, steep it until it's all used up, strain it out. Honey. You can add lemon too, guys, to any of these because the acid in lemon will help kill bacteria as well. Actually, horehound is one of the main ingredients in the Ricola cough drops. Well, you can also make your own cough drops too. If you have Karo syrup and sugar, it's just your basic hard candy lollipop recipe. Just add in your essence of your horehound or your violet and flavorings, whatever kind you like, and you're good to go. Sore throat. When you cough and cough and cough, your throat starts to hurt. We've all been there at some point. Now, honey is fabulous. Believe me, it's wonderful because it coats your throat. Lemon is great. It burns, but guys, I can tell you it will keep you from losing your voice. Just don't go sucking on a raw lemon by itself. Dilute it with some cold water or something, or you'll be in a world of hurt. Again, learned that the hard way. Another option, and this is actually one that my mother used for my sister and I for as long as I can remember. That's gargling with salt water. Now, we've all played Oregon Trail or, something similar, and one of your characters got shot, and they always offer to rub salt into the wound. Weird, right? Maybe not so much. Salt is naturally antibacterial, and so if you add it to warm water and gargle with it, not only is the warmth kind of soothing away some of the soreness, but that antibacterial action is killing the bacteria and helping wash any secretions or anything that might be draining out of your throat so it can't continue to cause irritation. Now, if you're going to use saltwater gargle, though, guys, 3 to 4 times a day, I wouldn't do it any more than that. Okay, guys, nausea and vomiting.
This is what I can't stand.
I don't blame you. Well, the best options are either peppermint tea or ginger tea. Now, guys, mind you, do not take peppermint if you are a pregnant lady. It's a little too strong for the baby. It can cause some birth defects. Ginger tea, though, has been proven to be safe for pregnant and nursing mothers. However, if there's no chance of that, peppermint is great. Just sip it very slowly, because if you dump a whole lot down in your stomach at once, it ain't going to stay in your stomach. We've all heard of sipping ginger ale or Sprite or 7-Up. Just slowly nibbling on saltine crackers can also help. It's just because it's very neutral acidity wise, and so it won't upset the pH of your stomach. It'll help level it out, so, diarrhea. Cascrata sagrada is your best option there. Peppermint tea can also help with that. Now, another thing you guys can do, push fluids, lots and lots of fluids, especially clear fluids. Apple juice, water, 7-Up, Sprite, chicken broth, anything like that. Primarily water, though. Lots and lots and lots of water. This is also a good idea, especially if you're having diarrhea or vomiting, because it'll help keep you from getting dehydrated. Trust me, dehydrated and nauseous with everything else on top is not a fun combo. Otherwise, it's really about all you can do as far as natural remedies go for diarrhea. Body aches and joint aches. My suggestion is just soak in a tub with some Epsom salts. Now, mind you, that's about a 1/4 cup per gallon of water. So your standard bathtub, you'll probably want about 1.5 cups of Epsom salts, give or take. Now, another great thing here is you can also do some aromatherapy while you're soaking those sore joints and muscles. You can add a few drops of rose or lavender to your bath water. That'll help you sleep, get rid of headache, less stress. You can add eucalyptus or peppermint oil to help open up your sinuses. There's a huge range of things you can do aromatherapy-wise. Our last one is fever. Sometimes you run a fever, sometimes you don't. There's natural ways to take care of that too. Spearmint is fabulous for getting rid of fevers. So is peppermint, but to a slightly lesser extent. One I use quite a bit is I'll go take a hot bath. It forces your body to start to sweat, which will help make the fever break. Now, I'm not talking sit in a tub of boiling water, guys. Just, warm enough to make you sweat just a little bit, okay? Again, while doing this, you can add some essential oils for aromatherapy. Next, we have where it's difficult to get to sleep, because sometimes when you just don't feel good, your body just says, no, you're not sleeping. It's not happening. Great options for that, like I've said, lavender, spearmint, eucalyptus, rose, chamomile, vanilla. So, there's mugwort too. There's lots of options, guys, other than pills, and cough syrups and things. Now, there's one more. That's right. A way to stop the cold or flu before it even gets its hooks into you. Now, zinc is the first one, but mind you, zinc will only work if you start taking it within the first few days after symptoms have shown up. That's actually what Cold-EEZE is it's basically zinc with a fancy package and a very big price tag. But, so basically it's Cold-EEZE but cheaper. How zinc works is it actually bonds to the cold virus and makes it so that it can't reproduce itself. And if it can't reproduce, then your system is just going to kill it off. It's not going to get anywhere, which will result in 3-4 day cold. Another option is to just simply boost the heck out of your immune system. This can be done with vitamin C, so orange juice, vitamin tabs. I've even noticed there's a lot of cereals and stuff that are enriched with vitamin C now too. So, Another option is echinacea or golden seal. Now, echinacea and golden seal, you can get them together, you can get them separate. These both just boost the heck out of your immune system. They supercharge it. Now, echinacea is also known as purple cone flower, or Echinacea purpura, I believe is the botanical term. Echinacea is easy to take. You can get it in capsule form to where you don't have to taste a darn thing. If you can't swallow capsules, though, try opening them and sprinkling ground up echinacea into your food, like maybe kind of mix it into your mashed potatoes or your applesauce or pudding or whatever. But I myself have a compromised immune system, so I know what it's like to be sick for weeks on end. It's miserable. But for me, in the last few years since I've really started taking echinacea and vitamin C on a regular basis, when I've gotten a cold, normally I'm sick for 3, 4, sometimes even 5 weeks. Now, my colds don't generally last past a week. So, very big improvement there. Okay, guys, we are going to take a break. And when we come back, we will discuss smudging. When is it necessary? When is it not? We will also be discussing witchy gardening. Stick around.
Set you free, I try to make you a part of me. I even told you what would happen periodically. There is just something that I need to know. Why am I the only one that lost it all?
But every day and every time I turn around, searching for a place that I have left behind. And all I wanna believe that you could bleed so.
Someone says to me this was a melody. How can I believe there's another sun? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm the chosen one.
As the light has taken what is left of day, and everything is like it's made of clay, I feel like I am the only one, feeling my need to be reckoned with someone.
And every day and every time I turn around, searching for a sign so I can make a sound. But all I want is to flee.
I'm
Hey guys, welcome back to Witchy Tidbits. I am your hostess, Amethyst Storm Moon, and with us tonight we have Miss Erica Gray. Well, we've talked about divination methods and cold and flu remedies. Now it's time to talk about what I like to call witchy gardening. You can do a garden with just all-purpose herbs in it that can double for almost any use, or you can choose to build one for a specific need. Or you can just do one for pagan or Wiccan holidays or even natural remedies. We'll start first with the all-purpose craft garden. For me, there are two herbs that I always recommend for banishing, aka exorcism. One of these is Asafoetida, or devil's dung as it's known. Believe me, it earned that name. When it burns, it reeks like poop. Another one is Angelica. Now, Angelica is a great multi-purpose herb too. It's a beginner level. It doesn't stink, which is a heck of a lot better. And it's a very, very powerful banishing and cleansing herb. So definitely have Angelica in your garden. If you're one that has been blessed with psychic abilities such as clairvoyance, like we discussed a little bit earlier, or dream walking, empathy, things like that, my suggestion to you to put in your garden along with your Angelica would be a little bit of sage. Now, sage is great for psychic powers. It's great for cleansing. You can use it for protection. I mean, it's just really majorly multi-purpose. Now, healing herbs. Like I said, you can use sage for healing too, but I have found my personal favorite for healing is actually lemon balm or mint. Now, bear in mind that lemon balm and mint are both part of the same family, so if you're going to plant this in your garden, put it in a container or you will have nothing but lemon balm and mint. Trust me. It is a really, really invasive plant. So, just bear that in mind. Next, for consecration, I would suggest to you frankincense and myrrh if you can get a hold of it, if you're in an area where you can grow it. Frankincense and myrrh can also be used for banishing, cleansing, healing, protection, darn near anything. It's another two really great multi-purpose herbs. Now, for divination, I'll use either mugwort or goldenrod. Now, if you're allergic to ragweed, you will be allergic to goldenrod. Okay, so goldenrod is not a good choice if you suffer from allergies, but definitely mugwort. Mugwort's also great for sleep and anti-stress. Money herbs. Now this one, you wouldn't even have to grow anything really, because just your common everyday rice can be used in money spells. But if you want to grow something, goldenrod can also be used here as well. Oh, and so can mints, which we've already talked about. Lemon balm as well, actually. Another one you can consider is thyme. It's also great for healing, cleansing. For blessing things, St. John's wort is great, and like a lot of the herbs so far, you can use it for a lot of different reasons. Another great one is pine, just your regular old plain old pine tree. Now, if you do astral travel, not everybody does, mugwort's great here too. Or you can also choose jasmine. Now, as far as summoning goes, guys, definitely do not attempt a summoning if you are a beginner. Okay? Never ever summon something that you can't banish. So, as a beginner, probably want to stay away from summoning herb. But if you were to choose one for that, I would suggest sweetgrass. Meditation is covered by the frankincense and myrrh as well. So, I mean, you can get so much done with a short list of herbs. I mean, it's really wonderful. For your just basic witchy purposes, You'll want angelica, you will want mugwort, you will want frankincense and myrrh, and you will want sage and some sort of mint. So now for those that want to focus on a specific use, like, what do you think, Erica? If you were going to make a witchy garden, what use would you focus on?
Positive energy.
Positive energy? Okay. That is a great choice. For positive energy, you can choose from a couple different categories too. You can do your cleansing or blessing herbs or purification too. As I said before, angelica is great for all of those things. That, and it's actually really pretty when it blooms. It's not a really flamboyant flower, but it is quite pretty. Um, Frankincense and myrrh are actually really good for that too. So is sage and pine. You could also consider planting some thyme. You can use that in cooking too, which, lavender is also great for that. Oh, on the topic of lavender, did you guys know that lavender essential oil is great for burns?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently it was discovered. A researcher was working over a Bunsen burner and there was an explosion. And the only thing nearby that he could get to was a bowl of lavender essential oil. Now, mind you, this gentleman had suffered third-degree burns, but he plunged his burning arm into the lavender essential oil. This third-degree burn that normally would have taken 6, 8 months to heal took less than 3 months. No infection, no complications of any kind. So, I mean, it was discovered completely by accident. I just thought I'd share that. I heard that the other day. It's like, oh, cool. Now we'll talk about your natural remedy garden. Mint is great. It's spearmint's good for reducing fever. Peppermint's good for nausea. Definitely have your lavender there. Works for headaches, burns, uh, even bruising. It helps a little bit. Lower stress, helps sleep. It's actually too. You can drop a couple of drops of essential oil in a child's ear that has an ear infection. It's got very strong antibiotic and antibacterial properties too. Chamomile is another one I would suggest. Great stress reliever and it makes a wonderful tea. Plus, you can make it as a poultice for wounds. It'll help speed healing. One that everybody thinks of when they think of natural remedies is aloe. Now, mind you guys, unless you live in a tropical area, you'll need to grow your aloe inside. If you have room for eucalyptus, definitely grow it. Garlic is another thing to keep around. It's antibacterial, antifungal, um, great for lowering blood pressure. It can also lower your bad cholesterol and help raise your good. Plus, it's really tasty. Those are really your basics for a healing garden. But if you wanted to expand it a little bit, I would say go ahead and add St. John's wort to it because St. John's wort is also great for wounds. And here's the other thing though. If you take antidepressants, do not use St. John's wort. It has its own antidepressant ability and combining the two could actually make your symptoms worse, believe it or not. So, before you take any natural remedy, always check with your doctor to make sure it's not going to react with any of your meds. Definitely echinacea too should be in that garden. Not only is it beautiful and it smells fabulous, but it's great for wounds, great for your immune system. Those are my suggestions for a healing garden. Holiday gardens. We're going to start with Samhain. This is October 31st. Most people call it Halloween. This is the witch's new year. And just happens to be one of my favorite holidays anyway. I mean, as a kid we went trick-or-treating and, who can say no to candy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
If you were going to create a garden for Samhain, aloe could be in there, an apple tree, African violets, lavender, mandrake, mint, mugwort, myrrh, sage and sandalwood, sweetgrass, or even witch hazel would work. So lots of options for a Samhain garden. If we go and decide that we don't want to do a Samhain garden, that we'd like to do something more like Yule, which is usually around December 21st. It is the longest night of the year, first day of winter. We've all heard of frankincense and myrrh for Christmas time. Ivy, mistletoe, holly. These are all good to use at Yule time. But there's two more I'm going to add to that list. One is cinnamon and the other is nutmeg. Now, if you're more interested in Ostara, for example, which is the first day of spring, African violet is your best bet. Now, I'm going to pause here long enough to tell you that African violet is hard to grow, guys. I grew up watching my mother grow them. I grew them myself. You cannot get water on the leaves or it leaves spots and you'll have some rot, which is obviously not a good thing. Any sort of cold air hitting it will kill it. And they are definitely not very good for starting new ones or transplanting really either. So, always be really careful when you're trying to deal with them because they're very temperamental. Now, we're going to discuss a Mabon garden. Now, Mabon is the first day of fall, okay, in September. This is another one that's got a huge range of stuff to choose from. Marigold, oak, asters, fern, sage and Solomon seal, cedar, honeysuckle. So those are good options if you're wanting something for Mabon. Now, if you're going to do Imbolc, which actually is coming up on February 2nd, the two for that would be almonds or basil. Now, basil, you find that in pizza sauce and spaghetti sauce. So you can even find it in some desserts, believe it or not. It's really easy to grow, though. So next holiday garden is Litha. Now, Litha is in June, first day of summer. This is another one that's got a huge list. Yarrow, wormwood, lavender, chamomile, lilies, St. John's wort, fern, thyme, or wisteria. Next up is Lammas or Lugnasda. Now, what that is it's August 1st. Now, for that one, you can do frankincense or barley, oregano, golden seal, cornflower, thyme, or rosemary. The last holiday garden to cover is Beltane. Now, Beltane is May 1st. It is a fertility holiday. Options for that are almond and frankincense. Before we go on to our next topic, please bear in mind, guys, that there's more to these holidays than just decorating and growing some herbs. There's lots of places you can get your information too. Personally, my favorite that I send most people to is www.wicca-spirituality.com. It's a great site. It's just jam-packed full of information. Definitely, if you're interested in some of these holidays, go read up on them, because I'll bet you'll find a lot that you find interesting too. Okay, we've covered Witchy Garden. Now we're going to take a musical break, and when we come back, we will discuss Is It Time to Smudge? All this and more coming up on Witchy Tidbit. Stick around, guys.
Time is the reason why we fight to stay alive. Until the morning comes, it's a strife. But a shimmer in your eyes just makes me know that you and I belong, and you can light the dark all by your own. So let us show the world our love is strong.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Witchy Tidbits. I am your hostess, Amethyst Storm Moon. Today, our guest is Erica Gray. So, we've had lots to talk about this week. We've talked about divination methods, herbs, candles, and stones. We've talked about witchy gardening, natural cold and flu remedies. But now we're going to talk about smudging. Now, smudging is the easiest way to explain it is you have a bundle of herbs that you light and you allow to smolder, and you have the smoke move over a person, an object, or fill a home. Smudging is most often done to remove negative energies. Now, negative energies can be anything from hurt feelings from a fight all the way up to cold and just trying to get the germs and the haze of sickness out of the house. Now, more often than not, guys, sage is usually what is used. I suggest if you can get it, white sage. But if you cannot get white sage, just plain old ordinary garden sage will work fine. And also, guys, sometimes you don't even have to do just sage. You can get one that's sage and sweetgrass. I've heard of having lavender added or eucalyptus. I've even seen pine needles added to the bundle. Really, it's all about your personal preference and what you're trying to get rid of. If it's negative emotions or energies, you should really make sure you have sage in that bundle. If it's illness, you'll probably want to stick with something like eucalyptus, for example. Now, smudging doesn't have to be anything fancy, guys. You don't have to go out and buy an abalone shell and, this and that. Just if you have some heat-resistant tray of some sort for the herbs to burn on. Okay? Now, you can even smudge using loose herbs and charcoal discs. I myself just have the bundle and I just carry a little mason jar under it to catch the ashes. Now, if you don't like the scent of sage, which there are some that don't, as I've said, you can substitute other cleansing or purifying herbs. So, don't think that sage is your only option, because it's certainly not. It's just the most effective. We'll put it that way. Now, I myself, I try to smudge once a week at least. More so if tensions have been running high or if one of us has been sick, then I'll smudge a little more frequently. Now, bear in mind that there are some that actually can become physically ill due to a buildup of negative energy. Actually, that does happen to me from time to time. I don't handle negative energy well, and so I have to keep my apartment smudged, or I just, I'm miserable. Now, a lot of times when you smudge your home, your car, yourself, whatever the case may be, it's also a common practice to place a little bit of coarse sea salt in window frames, windowsills, door frames, just a little pinch off to the side, and this is for protection purposes. You've removed all that negative stuff, now you're putting the salt down to make sure it doesn't come back in. You don't even have to be pagan to smudge, You can also smudge just to make the house smell nice, It doesn't have to have any necessity to it other than just wanting to make the house smell nice or the car smell nice. But I will say this. We talked about meditation last week. I will say that before you meditate, if there are any negative energies built up, it is wise to smudge before meditation. Otherwise, negative energy can be kind of distracting. And distractions, we got enough of those, So, that basically covers smudging. Like I said, you can smudge anything. You can smudge your cat or dog if you really feel it's necessary.
Will smudging hurt someone with a lung condition?
It really depends on what it is. Like asthma, I have asthma, and as long as the house doesn't get too smoky, I'm okay. You can also choose to smudge with a window open so that the smoke doesn't build up. So long as you don't have a really major buildup of smoke, they should be okay. Well, that covers smudging, doesn't it? Let's move on to our Q&A. We have 2 questions here that I'm going to read to you. This first one is about divination, actually. Question about tarot cards, young lady. She asks, do tarot cards absolutely have to be cleansed before you? The answer to that is if you got them secondhand, absolutely. They should be purified and consecrated before use. If you got them brand new, they should be consecrated anyway. And in between uses, it's always a good idea to cleanse them before you use them, just in case there's any lingering energies left over. Our next question comes from another young lady, and she asks, why is Yule interchanged with Christmas? Well, Yule is what Christmas started out as. Back when the church was first formed, they were trying to figure out a way to bring pagans into the Christian belief system. Now, you got to remember, these are peoples that have been pagan for generations upon generations. Quick change like that isn't easy. And so the church saw that they celebrated, for example, Yule. They thought, well, if we can tie this in with something in our religion, it'll make the transition easier. Thus, Christmas was kind of put in place of Yule for these people. They could gradually move some of their traditions over. Like, for example, the act of giving gifts began in Yule. And we've all heard of a Yule log. Of course, back then it wasn't a pastry. Okay, it was actually a specific log of wood that they had gone out and cut down specifically for Yule. Little candies and cookies were common for Yule, and also the Christmas tree. One other thing that was actually brought into Christmas from Yule to help the transition was stars. Remember the star the 3 wise men followed. A lot of pagan traditions mix in with astronomy, um, like your horoscope, uh, your zodiac sign. And so the church they knew these people couldn't just, look, I'm Christian now and everything I do is Christian. It doesn't work that way, especially when you've lived your whole life. And so that's actually why Yule and Christmas share so many similarities. Erica, did you have any questions, dear?
Actually, yeah, but it doesn't have anything to do with divination or anything.
Oh, that's fine. Any kind of question at all is fine, honey.
It's I read somewhere that the clothes you wear can affect what you do when you do, spells and stuff. Is that true or not?
In some ways, yes. A lot of us actually have robes that we wear specifically for ritual. Okay? And the reason for this is that any magic or ritual you do requires energy. And so this robe that you're wearing has been blessed, it's been consecrated, cleansed, and so that it will only be used for ritual, nothing else, so that you don't have any extra energies being crossed. There's also color can actually play a part in power. Like, for example, your candle colors. Silver represents the goddess, and gold represents the god. White is considered purifying. Let's see. Purple is power and spiritual understanding. And so, yes, the clothes that you wear can actually affect your magic. Still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. You answered all my other questions during the during the segment here. So.
Well, awesome. Okay. Our last thing for this week is, of course, our weekly tip. Now, this week's tip, guys, is actually cleaning tip for your home, natural cleansing. I am horrendously allergic to most chemicals. I can't handle them because of my asthma. I can't do bleach, stuff like that. And so I've kind of, over time, developed some natural alternatives to chemicals for cleaning. About per gallon of water, you'll want a half cup of white vinegar. This is fabulous for cleaning windows, mirrors, any kind of glass, and it won't leave any streaks, at least not in my experience. A great way to clean your silver and gold jewelry without the harsh chemicals? Toothpaste. Yep, toothpaste. You can also use just a mixture of baking soda and water if you like. Something I use for the floor for mopping is I keep like the peels of lemons and limes and oranges and I dry them out. And then what I do is I mix that with a little bit of thyme. Thyme contains menthol, which is actually the active ingredient in a lot of mouthwashes, like, for example, Listerine. The active ingredient that kills the bacteria is actually menthol from thyme. But what I do is I take all those rinds and the thyme and I let it steep in hot water for 20-30 minutes. I strain it and I use that as my floor cleaner. Not only does it kill germs on the floor, but it leaves your house smelling fabulous. So that's our weekly tip. So we're going to take one more musical break, then we'll close out our show.
Vivid yet senseless perfection, reflecting these cynical times. It seems like the future was calling. Something brought me to life. As I pick up the pieces, yet I'm still unaware that my nemesis, with my own beliefs, with my actions will change what I am.
I won't give it up. I have seen enough, and I will never stop. Our universe, the stars leads the way. Head up, our guidance to reach you see. Stardust wants to take me to galaxies where our hopes astray.
I shake by the septic infection. A rush as it runs down my spine. It feels like I'm crossing the border. My hunger comes alive. As I pass through the mirror, it's a trouble through time. There's no turning back. On a one-way track, my addiction which renders me blind.
Give it up. I have seen enough, and I will never stop. Our universe, the stardust leads the way. Head up, our guidance to reach you see. Stardust wants to take me to galaxies where our hopes astray.
An image of godless ideals is what's reflecting these eyes. Seems like the heavens are falling. It's the truth of my
I won't give it up. The truth is not enough, and I will never stop. Our universe, the stars leads the way. Head up, our guidance to reach you see. Stardust wants to take me to galaxies where our hopes astray. Stardust leads the way.
Sadly, now we have to say goodbye. I would like to start by thanking Miss Erica Gray for coming on and being a guest this week. It was wonderful to have you, sweetie.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Um,
It's been quite knowledgeable.
Oh, I'm so happy that you enjoyed it. We certainly enjoyed having you. I'd also like to remind everybody that we have our YouTube channel, a Google Plus page, Twitter, and a Facebook page. If you have any questions you'd like answered on the next show, or even if you have suggestions for a topic that you'd like to hear, by all means, post on one of our pages or message us on Twitter, and we will definitely get around to them. Lastly, thank you to all of our listeners, and it's been a great show tonight, and I cannot wait to see you guys next. So this is Amethyst Storm Moon and Erica Gray saying good night, guys.